Prince Philip was born into the Greek and Danish royal families. He was born in Greece, but his family was exiled from the country when he was 18 months old. After being educated in France, Germany and the United Kingdom, he joined the British Royal Navy in 1939, aged 18. From July 1939, he began corresponding with the 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth, whom he had first met in 1934. During the Second World War he served with distinction in the Mediterranean and Pacific fleets. After the war, Philip was granted permission by George VI to marry Elizabeth. Before the official announcement of their engagement in July 1947, he abandoned his Greek and Danish titles and styles, became a naturalized British subject, and adopted his maternal grandparents' surname Mountbatten. He married Elizabeth on 20 November 1947. Just before the wedding, he was granted the style His Royal Highness and created Duke of Edinburgh, Earl of Merioneth, and Baron Greenwich by King George VI. Philip left active military service when Elizabeth became Queen in 1952, having reached the rank of commander, and was made a British prince in 1957. Philip had 4 children with Elizabeth: Charles, Prince of Wales; Anne, Princess Royal; Prince Andrew, Duke of York; and Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex. Through a British Order in Council issued in 1960, descendants of the couple not bearing royal styles and titles can use the surname Mountbatten-Windsor, which has also been used by some members of the royal family who do hold titles, such as Anne, Andrew and Edward. A sports enthusiast, Philip helped develop the equestrian event of carriage driving. He was a patron, president or member of over 780 organizations, and he served as chairman of the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, a self-improvement program for young people aged 14 to 24. He was the longest-serving consort of a reigning British monarch and the longest-lived male member of the British royal family. He retired from his royal duties on 2 August 2017, aged 96, having completed 22,219 solo engagements and 5,493 speeches since 1952. Philip died on 9 April 2021, 2 months before his 100th birthday. Early life. Prince Philip, Greek, Phi Lambda Iota Pi Pi Omicron Sigma, Romanized, Philippos, of Greece and Denmark, was born in Morne Repos on the Greek island of Corfu on 10 June 1921, the only son and 5th and final child of Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark and Princess Alice of Battenberg. A member of the House of Glucksburg, the ruling house of Denmark, he was a prince of both Greece and Denmark by virtue of his patrilineal descent from George I of Greece and Christian IX of Denmark, and he was from birth in the line of succession to both thrones. Philip's 4 elder sisters were Margarita, Theodora, Cecily, and Sophie. He was baptized in the Greek Orthodox Rite at St. George's Church in the Old Fortress in Corfu. Shortly after Philip's birth, his maternal grandfather Prince Louis of Battenberg, then known as Louis Mountbatten, Marquess of Milford Haven, died in London. Louis was a naturalized British subject who, after a career in the Royal Navy, had renounced his German titles and adopted the surname Mountbatten, an anglicized version of Battenberg, during the First World War, owing to anti-German sentiment in Britain. After visiting London for his grandfather's memorial service, Philip and his mother returned to Greece, where Prince Andrew had remained to command a Greek army division embroiled in the Greco-Turkish War. The war went badly for Greece, and the Turks made large gains. Philip's uncle and high commander of the Greek expeditionary force, King Constantine I, was blamed for the defeat and was forced to abdicate on 27 September 1922. The new military government arrested Prince Andrew, along with others. The commanding officer of the army, General Georgios Hatzinestis, and 5 senior politicians, were arrested, tried, and executed in the trial of the 6. Prince Andrew's life was also believed to be in danger, and the accession of Elizabeth to the throne brought up the question of the name of the royal house, as Elizabeth would typically have taken Philip's last name upon marriage. The Duke's uncle, Earl Mountbatten of Burma, advocated the name House of Mountbatten. Philip suggested House of Edinburgh, after his ducal title. When Queen Mary, Elizabeth's grandmother, heard of this, she informed the British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, who himself later advised the Queen to issue a royal proclamation declaring that the royal house was to remain known as the House of Windsor. Prince Philip privately complained, "I am nothing but a bloody amoeba. I am the only man in the country not allowed to give his name to his own children." On the 8th of February 1960, several years after the death of Queen Mary and the resignation of Churchill as Prime Minister, the Queen issued an order in council declaring that Mountbatten Windsor would be the surname of her and her husband's male line descendants who are not styled as Royal Highness or titled as Prince or Princess. While it seems the Queen had absolutely set her heart on such a change and had it in mind for some time, it occurred only 11 days before the birth of Prince Andrew, the 19th of February, and only after 3 months of protracted correspondence between constitutional expert Edward Ewey, who averred that, without such a change, the royal child would be born with the badge of bastardy, and Prime Minister Harold Macmillan, who had attempted to rebut Ewey's arguments. After her accession to the throne, the Queen also announced that the Duke was to have place, preeminence and precedence, next to her, on all occasions and in all meetings, except where otherwise provided by Act of Parliament. This meant the Duke took precedence over his son, the Prince of Wales, except, officially, in the British Parliament. In fact, however, he attended Parliament only when escorting the Queen for the annual state opening of Parliament, where he walked on Saturday beside her. Contrary to rumors over the years, the Queen and Duke were said by insiders to have had a strong relationship throughout their marriage, despite the challenges of Elizabeth's reign. The Queen referred to Prince Philip in a speech on the occasion of her Diamond Jubilee in 2012 as her constant strength and guide. Prince Philip received a parliamentary annuity of £359,000 since 1990 that served to meet official expenses in carrying out public duties. The annuity was unaffected by the reform of royal finances under the Sovereign Grant Act 2011. Any part of the allowance that was not used to meet official expenditure was liable for tax. In practice, the entire allowance was used to fund his official duties. Duties and milestones. As consort to the Queen, Philip supported his wife in her new duties as sovereign, accompanying her to ceremonies such as the state opening of Parliament in various countries, state dinners, and tours abroad. As chairman of the Coronation Commission, he was the first member of the royal family to fly in a helicopter, visiting the troops that were to take part in the ceremony. Philip was not crowned in the service but knelt before Elizabeth, with her hands enclosing his, and swore to be her, liege man of life and limb. In the early 1950s, his sister-in-law, Princess Margaret, considered marrying a divorced older man, Peter Townsend. The press accused Philip of being hostile to the match, to which he replied, "I haven't done anything." Philip had not interfered, preferring to stay out of other people's love lives. Eventually, Margaret and Townsend parted. For 6 months, over 1953-1954, Philip and Elizabeth toured the Commonwealth. As with previous tours, the children were left in Britain. In 1956, the Duke, with Kurt Hahn, founded the Duke of Edinburgh's Award in order to give young people a sense of responsibility to themselves and the communities. In the same year, he also established the Commonwealth Study Con. Prince Philip died on the 9th of April 2021, aged 99, 2 months before his 100th birthday. He was the longest-serving royal consort in British history. The cause of death has not been disclosed, though the palace said that he died peacefully. His death led to the commencement of Operation Forth Bridge, the plan for publicly announcing his death and organizing his funeral, commensurate with his wish for minimal fuss.